You're joining us on day 16 of the fast of Daniel. It's Christmas Day. That means that today, 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have our Christmas Day service, a family moment. It's not too late for you to join us. You can check out the QR code, scan it for directions. All right. I hope you can make that so that we can be together here and bless our loved ones, our family members. All right. So let's read today John chapter 16, verse 25. I will no longer speak to you in figurative language, but I will tell you plainly about the Father. Very well. You know, the Lord Jesus would often speak to people with parables. And by doing so, he would share a story and help people understand the message to simplify things. Just like when we talk to kids in Sunday school. However, not everybody was able to get the message. And in this particular moment, Jesus said, wait a minute. If you don't understand the parables, let me speak to you plainly. In other words, let me be straightforward with you and be clear so that you will have zero doubts. In other words, that often happens in a relationship, and that is necessary in relationships, having a heart to heart talk, right? There are moments in a relationship. It can be a family relationship between siblings, cousins, a work relationship, employer, employee, colleagues amongst each other, classmates, husband and wife, that you need to be plain and clear. You cannot use small talk to solve important problems. And being plain and clear is exactly how the Lord Jesus was and God the Father. Every time you read the Bible and God speaks to us, it's because there's clarity. God says, either do this or do the other. There's only one way to enter heaven. God tells us what to do, what not to do. So God never leaves room for a gray area, an area of doubt, an area of question marks. And a lot of problems can be avoided in a marriage, in a relationship, in a workplace. When people communicate from the very beginning clearly their intentions and their motives. That's why our thought today is the following: honesty is the best policy. Be honest from the very beginning, even if it may require you speaking something plainly that people are not used to, or people are not familiar with, or people are not expecting that, but it's important. I'll give you a good example. Often I come across people that are not happy in their job. Why are they not happy in their job if they were the one to sign the contract? They decided to enter that job, they decided to commit to that job. Why are they unhappy? Because from the very beginning, either they were not straightforward and plain and clear with their prospective employer or company, or vice versa, the employer was not clear with them, or whoever was carrying out the interview wasn't clear with the candidate, or both of them were not clear with each other. And then the person ends up in a job that they are extremely unhappy, and they go to job unhappy and frustrated, carrying out their job with an unhappy face, half-hearted. At the same time, an employer that has an employee and they don't enjoy to be with the employee. In other words, a workplace where there's a bad environment, there's no productivity, not the employer, neither the employee is happy. The same happens in a marriage, the same happens in any other relationship when people do not clearly communicate what they want, what they don't want, what they expect, what they don't expect from the very beginning.
I'm thinking if you are a person that you often get yourself misunderstood, or you think people don't understand you, you have always this experience of being misunderstood, then it's a time for you to reflect whether or not you are communicating your thoughts, your ideas, your goals, your purpose plainly. So if you don't communicate it plainly, clearly, that's the reason why you are being misunderstood. It's not necessarily the fault of the other person, but more that you are not expressing yourself well. And that's a time for you to improve communication skills.
Very well. So, our thought for today is honesty is the best policy. Be honest, be straightforward from the very beginning. I do understand that in every culture, um, we speak to people with different politeness, if I may say so. Because we've been in Europe, we've been in Asia, so we do understand that. However, it's not good to leave doubt or gray areas on the table. Okay, take a moment to reflect on that. If necessary, practice immediately, or if you're already practicing, then share with people that can benefit from this. Okay. Now, don't forget, this weekend we're going to have the Sunday of Gratitude. What a blessing. It's a moment where we will come together on the last Sunday of the year where we can give thanks to God for everything He has done in 2025. And, I believe at least one thing everybody can be grateful for. God has kept us, guarded us, looked after our soul, and we are ending the year in God's presence. Okay? And there are other people that are watching. You may have many more reasons to give thanks to God. Very well. Now, you may be connected with us, and perhaps you have not been to church for some time, and you see this as an opportunity to return and reconnect with God before the end of the year. It's a great moment, a good time to restart, make new beginnings. Okay, I would like to invite you to be part of that. Last but not least, our New Year's Eve night vigil will be starting coming Wednesday, 10 o'clock in the evening. We'll be taking part of the Lord's Supper, Holy Communion, and we will conclude quarter past midnight. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. Have a very blessed day together with your family. We'll be back again tomorrow with another thought in our fast of the day. Join us again. God bless you all. Bye bye.
God bless.
Can you hear the sound of the fireworks? Yes, another year is coming to an end. And what have you prepared for the coming year? At this time of the year, it's common for many people to set new goals and raise their expectations for the following year. But when you think about it, nothing is very different from previous years. Is it? Losses, failures, disappointment, sadness, certain difficulties and problems that have persisted year after year. And you ask yourself, how can I have a different life? Even though we are nearing the final days of this year, there is still time for you to rise up and take the step that can provoke the transformation you've been longing for. The New Year's Eve Night Vigil, Wednesday, 31st December, 10 p.m. Join us for this special opportunity to place God first, before anything else, as we step into a new year with faith, purpose, and a renewed spirit.